So I've been watching a lot of Halo lore, and honestly, I forgot how much I love Halo. Now, if you don't know what Halo is, it is basically a FPS game that is a set in space where there's these aliens essentially trying to take over the human race or destroy them completely, and the humans are creating this system called basically the Spartan system. And to explain what a Spartan is, even if you know what the lore is, in the simplest way, a Spartan is someone who is kidnapped from their home at a very young age and is forced into military training into a very, very intense way, and then eventually goes through genetic mutations to basically become a superhuman, similar to like Captain America, essentially, is the best way to explain it. And I played a lot of Halo when I was a kid. I did. I played all the Halos. I played Halo 3, ODST, Reach. I played Master Chief Collection. I played 4. I played 2. I played all the Halos. And obviously, I think that after a while, the Halos kind of went downhill. And that's probably why I got so disconnected from the franchise in the first place, was because after 3, essentially, after 3 and after playing Reach, there's just really no reason to play any of the Halo games after that. Because all of the rest of them felt like they were just being dragged out like super hardcore. Because Reach is obviously about the fall of Reach, which is like the main military planet for the human race, essentially. And then obviously Halo 3 is supposed to kind of be the last frontier, I guess you could say, of the main character that you follow along with which is Master Chief. Master Chief makes you feel like you're obviously a super soldier. You're going crazy. It's like you're playing Kratos essentially, but you're playing it in space, and you're not exactly fighting gods. Where on the other side of this, obviously, like I said, you have Reach, and Reach is completely different. So Reach is makes you feel like more you're playing a default Spartan. You're playing one of the default guys, and you're kind of just in the back. You're seeing what's going on, but you're not the guy who's sacrificing himself or anything of that sort. In the last couple of days, I have gotten absolutely obsessed with the lore, and I think it's so funny because with this, obviously, because I believe phones listen to us. I mean, just take TikTok or Facebook for example. I've been seeing memes about Halo and stuff like that. And I guess that's kind of what sparked this video's idea, was the mixture of the two, about how obsessed I've kind of been and everything. So I basically saw this meme where it's like, nobody wants to get drafted until you hear you get to be a Spartan. Or, oh, nobody wants to get drafted until you get to hear you get to uh, get Warhammer like genetics induced into you. No, bro. If you tell me you get to be a Spartan, I'm definitely not gonna want to join a war. I'm definitely not gonna want to get drafted. I'm sorry to say this, and sorry the camera quality is very dark right now. I have a light on, but it's doing nothing, honestly. But yeah, it's just a no. If you understand what they go through in order to become a Spartan or in order to become a super soldier like in Warhammer, you would never want to be drafted a day in your entire life. Because it's not just as simple as, well, they hook you up to a machine and then, oh yeah, what happens? Oh, you just become Captain America. It's not that simple. To become a Spartan in the Halo world, even if we get rid of the part where you're taken as a child, right? Even if we just get rid of that part, when you hit a certain age, you can no longer become a Spartan. Period. You want to know what age this is? From all their tests, anyone over the age of 18 physically cannot become a Spartan anymore. If you are above the age of 14, you're already at severe risk of failure. Like, you have a lower risk than anyone else to fail becoming one. But if you're above the age of 18, you instantly fail. There is a 0% success rate. That means that every single person who'd be drafted in this course would essentially just be annihilated instantly. And then if you're below 18, maybe you get lucky. And apparently 14 is the sweet spot. But it's only the sweet spot if you've been essentially mentally and physically traumatized your entire life through combat, essentially. And the reason for this is because when they do everything they do for the Spartan things, is they basically take your entire basic being of yourself and they nuke it down to its core and they rebuild it from scratch up to its maximum potential within maybe an hour. So imagine if within 1 hour your spine became as hard as steel, your muscles became like as if you took steroids for 30 years and worked out every day of your life. And everything like in your mind was replaced with mechanical parts to basically become a supercomputer outside of a little bit of like emotional intelligence for yourself. Yeah, like most people don't survive it. And the people who do survive it 99% of the time don't have their own personality. That's why a lot of the times when you're playing Halo, like if you're playing Master Chief or something like that, it's completely different because Master Chief is a one in a billion Spartan. Literally a one in a billion. He is one of the only Spartans ever that had all of the experiments go 100% right. Had was good at combat. It went through all the combat exercises and passed. It had all the experiments go right and kept his humanity intact fully after all the experiments. It's the same thing with like some of the other guys, like the let's say like Noble Six, right? He's one of the few guys too who it did go through all the processes and had basically everything work out perfectly fine and kept his humanity intact. It's one of the reasons why he was able to sacrifice himself in order to become, I mean, basically one of the greatest Spartans to ever live, right? Well, what they have to now, obviously, if you play Halo, you can correct me on this. I am not perfect at the lore by any means. How many fleets did they have to send after him in order to destroy him on Reach? When they were taking down Reach, didn't he take down like 5 fleets solo or something like that? And they had to basically send almost the entire alien army after him in order to actually take Reach down. So this is kind of what I mean, right? Where it's just like people don't realize how hard it would be. Now, if you're like, oh, I like hypotheticals like this, right? Because I think they're good hypotheticals, but I think people are very unrealistic. It's like people when it comes to like ReZero, where they're like, yeah, I think I could die 6,000 times and then like come back and like have a game plan on how to not die 6,001. It's like, dude, it's so unrealistic. Now, would it be cool? Let's say if you had the option to be a Spartan, but there was no risk of any side effects. There was no risk of mental trauma. There was no risk of any of that. Would you become one? Yeah, more than likely. Like 99% of people would say that if they know what a Spartan is. But the mental trauma you have to go through in order to become a Spartan, a normal human could not withstand it. And that is exactly why they have to, like, they have to do heinous acts to even train a singular Titan, you know? Or Spartan, my bad. I keep saying Titan, but I don't know why I'm saying Titan. I'm thinking of like Destiny, because that's how I kind of imagine Destiny is too, I guess. But yeah, I absolutely love Halo lore. I'm thinking about going back and maybe doing a Halo 3 playthrough because Halo 3 is peak and I haven't played it in years. I think Halo Reach is good too. ODST, let's all be honest here, guys. ODST was probably the worst game when it came to like multiplayer wise. I mean, of the older games. I'm not talking about the newer games, but of like multiplayer wise, but like or story wise, I should say. But it was fun in the aspect of like making your own maps and playing with friends. It really was. Like it was insane. Also, I have no clue why the light of the sun is obliterating me today. Like makes zero sense. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to rant about today was how being a Spartan isn't something to glorify. It's cool. Spartans are cool, but man, once you know the lore, I don't think anybody would want to be a Spartan. Like in this entire universe, nobody would. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Would you still want to be a Spartan, like knowing that you would have to go through like crazy mental and physical trauma, or would you not? Let me know in the comments below. Besides that, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.